Prosper, the question I was asking you, what was the difficulties you encountered when you were teaching math in your high school, and then that propels you to come to me and ask for help?
Okay. Well, because what I have, right, a lot of my classes at the high school I go to is very predominantly like like a big, heavy Haitian
Caribbean,
yeah.
Asian population?
Caribbean, yes,
But
mostly Haitian.
Asians, yeah.
And so I know that I can hear them talking Creole, but at the same time I know that, and you explained this to me, no one like reads or writes Creole.
No, they don't.
And so on top of that, what you also told me is that if they did go to school, it was French.
That's true.
And even the number system in French is nothing like the number system in English.
Yes, true.
You know? And so it's very hard. I could see even just writing, I'll give an example. Like I'll say 7.5. Well, I'm gonna
Okay.
like here, right? In the US, right? In the US, we'll write 7.5, right? And then right, I guess in AAT, how I see it, they do.
They put a comma, which is so wrong.
And so mathematically, these are not the same things at all. At all. This means something completely different in algebra. And so this is why I realized I had to find a way that I can like get to them where it's not a bilingual school that I go to.
No, that's not bilingual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how could I even get to them if I'll never be able to master Creole to the level to explain it.
You want.
I wouldn't. And so this is why I was like, oh, I would love this idea of like making a resource for these Haitian students.
That's true. And the resource
where like something like this, they understand, oh, we need to write it this way in the US, because the person grading their exams, they don't know that this means 7.5.
Well, even when we do divisions here too.
Show me.
For divisions like here, how do we say, if we say like, let's say 9 over 5, if we do in division, what do we do?
I will put the 9 in here.
9 here and the 5 here.
Yeah.
But in AED, I even forget, it's like 27 years. But I think in AED is something like this. If I don't recall.
Really?
Something like this, yeah. Because that was so long time ago. But we don't do division the same way that we do it in AED. So when you come here, you have to learn how we do it here.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
And why this is so difficult for some, because imagine you were existing in your head mentally one way to look at numbers a certain way.
Yeah.
And then one day it might have taken you to go from Haiti to the US, maybe longer. But then you automatically are told that you have to look at it this way.
Yes, that's true.
It's a lot. It's too much.
And but the thing is that although I know in AED we have a bunch of kids that came from AED who are good in math, but most likely being good is like for memorization.
Yeah.
And if you were to stop them and ask them to show you or prove you why 1 plus 1 equals 2, they have no idea. They just keep repeating 1 plus 1 equals 2, but they cannot mathematically show you where 1 plus 1 equals 2. Like you were showing me with the Roman numeral x, how it becomes
10.
But for us, we may have difficulties doing that. And then, when I started teaching in 1996, that was a long time ago, Prosper, my first job was to teach Creole.
You told me.
Right, to teach Creole. Clairbarton High School, yeah. My first job was to teach Creole. And then when they hired me, it was mostly to facilitate the kids that are taking yearly English as a second language. Guess what? They had no background in Creole where they know what is a verb, what is an adverb, what is an adjective. The grammar, they don't know it really. Because when they came here, they have no idea. So therefore, I had to teach them in Creole those things, the grammar in Creole, and then while I'm doing the Creole, and then transition to the English.
Wow.
Let's say if I say in Creole, "Moi reme," it is in English, "I love you."
Okay.
Now, if I tell to my kids, where's the verb?
In that
phrase, "Moi reme," they don't know really. And then when I say, okay, moi, it is a personal, right? I. The thing is us, and then reme is the verb, right? Now, if I translate "I love you," I also is me, and then love, which is reme, and that's the verb. And this is how I was able to
And they saw
correlate
the
that.
connection,
Oh,
yeah.
they saw the connections. Now and they know what is an adverb, what is an adjective, what
Yeah.
is a verb. In Creole, so when they go to English, when they translate that in English, they automatically understood what is an adverb, what is a verb, things like that. And then I did make some good progress with them.
And like to that point, like I can tell from my experience with the Asian students, they have something called seeing structure in algebra. So, like I'll give you an example of something like this. 4x plus let's do let me do something. Let's do 6x plus 9. All right. So seeing the structure, right? Like from your point of view, they might know that they're like they might not understand that three separate things are being added.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Three separate things are being added. But like if they had a way of understanding that 1 plus 1 is 2 and then x plus 1 is 2, that means that x has to be 1. You know what I'm saying? But like if they get like you just said, if you show them the structure from the basics, oh I love you, right? And then you say it in your language, they'll realize, oh, everything has a
logical, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A logical pattern.
And then so from here, then their hope, what they would hope is that, oh, now that I see this and I notice three things, I can break it up into what? Right? 3 times 3 is 3, and 3
That's
plus
right.
3.
Is
This is like seeing the structure.
The structure, yeah.
You know what I'm
and
saying?
then this how you break it. And then if you
Yeah.
see it that way, algebra is nothing more than seeing the structure, and then it's like
Yeah.
a puzzle.
Exactly.
It's like how you to put it together, and then while you put it together, and then disassemble it.
But-
That's what algebra is all about.
But to your same point, it's like language itself.
Yes, that's a language.
Like yeah, exactly. Like even learning any language, it's like a puzzle. As in, like we communicate all the time. You right? Haitians communicate in Creole, but the way you're communicating, that logic of what you're trying to communicate,
Yes,
it's also there in math and it's also there in English. You just have to find.
To find it. Yeah. And I guess that by doing this here, and I hope, guys, we are going to give you, I'm not saying that we are going to make you smart, but what I'm saying is that we are going to give you a new perspective
Yeah.
or a new tools to see math from a different angle. You are watching somebody who had a math phobia. In 1996, I graduated in 1996. No, in 1994 I graduated. But I went to school and college in 1989, York College. And I had that phobia and I stayed away from math. Then I graduated in 1994, 1995, 1996. I got that job within Board of It. And then guess what? To teach Creole. And you know the funny part? I went for my Creole license. I fell. And guess what? It was a white woman who interviewed me for the license because the old part I have to go.
Approve of this Creole
Yeah.
license.
So when I was talking to her in Creole, what the fuck? Imagine you. I was talking to somebody in Creole. And then she failed me. Why? Because my Creole had so many English words into it. Like, ma parle Creole et puis ma dit, you know, et puis ma mette Creole à terre. And then
The you know in it.
That's,
Yeah.
I put you know, yes, while I am talking Creole. So I have a bunch of dyslexic words coming into me because it's like if I say 10 words in Creole, I bet you 7 of them are Creole, 3 of them are English. And then the lady say, Mr. Poland, Creole pas parler comme ça. Tout ça on dit on met anglais là-dedans. And then she felt me, means that everything I said in Creole, I put some English word into it. The woman felt me.
But I know you explained to me as in that, of course, he's there talking to someone, and who Mr. Paulin is, he always wants to make sure that you understand who he is.
That's true.
And so he probably saw this woman and was just like, I need to add some English to it in order to get my point
No.
across.
What the thing is that, you know what happened too? I don't know if you guys watching me experience the same thing too. It seems that when I'm talking to somebody, mentally speaking, I make a mental note. See, easy for me to speak English to you.
Yeah.
Because I know you have no other way of understanding me
Same, yeah.
except English. But Mr. Prosper, if you were Asian sitting here, the Creole will have more priority coming out of my mouth. Even if I were to try to speak to you as Asian in English, you won't be sound the same. And this is why sometimes I struggle when I'm in front of a Asian audience. And I know you guys, you speak Creole. I'm not going to make any effort for me to speak English. Instantly speaking, the Creole just empowered my brain. And this probably that's what happened to me back then. When I saw that white lady and I know she's American and she speaks English, why bother try to speak Creole while I know she's not native?
Yes,
But if she was Asian, probably I would have done a better job speaking Creole, expressing myself. You understand? And this is what happened. And that is why now, since we are saying that we are going to do these things in Creole, and I'm still kept at it, focus on English, because my brain cannot release the Creole part of me.
To me, it's just a sign that he's really good at both languages.
No, I am.
And he can see the connections. And ultimately, we want the kids, when they watch this, anyone watching this,
Yes.
to make that same connection when it
They
comes
do.
to the math.
Now, when we are going actually to do the math, when it is my turn now to speak in Creole, then I will teach in Creole.
Okay.
And then, although I will also put some English word, because as I said earlier to you, I want them to get used
Yeah, they have
to being taught in English. Because as I said, these sessions that we are doing here, it is not for Asian kids in Haiti. It is for Asian kids that are actually in the mainland here in the United States, that are in school in one of our high schools here, and that are struggling with the language barrier, and then we want to bring them some kind of a relief.
Yeah.
So you as a master teacher in English and me become as a support teacher, then I will interconnect between English and Creole.
And Creole. But we've said this before, Mr. Paul and I, is in like, in the world of the business, no matter where you're from, English is what people are using.
That's true.
You don't even from people who don't come from an English-speaking country, when they meet amongst each other internationally, what's the language you're using?
English.
English. So I'm not saying you have to know English because you're in America. I'm saying to be about business, especially in a globalized world, you need knowing English and mastering English will make you better off in the future.
But you have to know English, because when you come to this country here, if you were to go for your citizenship test, they're not going to give it to you in French or in Creole or in Spanish. They are going to give it to you in English.
Yes.
So speaking, writing, and reading English is very important.
And again, this same, I know many people be like, it's so unfair or such a handicap. And it might be true, but if I, as an English-speaking American, went to Spain, I would be told I need to learn how to speak Spanish.
That's true, yes.
If I went to Haiti, I would need to learn Creole.
Otherwise, you won't be able to converse with these people. So now...